Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to define the bill and the head, how it goes into the bill, and get that all defined, and cut in some areas here and do what we call on here. These are called the ear coverts on here. They're we call them that because that's actually where their eardrum is located, is behind the eye here. So we're going to put all this in. We're going to also look at putting in this little thing here, which is called the bib. We'll put in the cape area, define it, and we'll define a little bit of this crest on the back of the head here. We will eventually be taking up some more in here out, but once we get the face established and the bill established, then we'll go in and refine this more, so we cut it, and we'll cut in the eye channels and all that, and get them put in place. And after that, we'll start texturing. But let's start with the face. If you see, look at the top view here. As you can see, it has a slight notch that runs at the base of the head. And that's, most songbirds have that, some not as pronounced as others. So what I'll do is I'll just measure back the distance from the tip of the bill to that notch right there. And that's about 9 millimeters. So I go from the tip of the bill to that notch, which is pretty much just where I just preliminarily drew it in at one point. That's where it's at. Luckily that's where it fell. And it makes a nice little rolling edge to it. Because what's under there, what you see under this little roll of feathers right here, that's where his nostril is located. You don't always see it because it's covered up. So we try to draw them both the same. I got a little bit of flaw in the wood there, but try to draw them both the same on this side, like so. And then what I do, once I do that, I have to look at the side view, and as you'll see, where it comes down, it comes off the top here, like this, off the top here, and down to the middle of the top of the bill. The top of the bill we call the bill's divided into mandibles. So you have a top upper mandible and a lower mandible. It comes into the upper mandible, top mandible, and it comes off the point of the bill like this. I just kind of draw this line straight through like that, and I come over and draw a line on the other side. The fun part here is getting them lined up. So I know that I've got that one right about there, and so the whole idea is to draw this in and see if I can get them lined up. What I do is, if you look at it, if you look at the head on, you can see that I've got both lines are pretty much the same on both sides. That's what you're trying to get. Sometimes you may have one higher and one lower. This time I was lucky and got it all the first time. You find out you're carving birds, especially when you're drawing patterns on the bird, feather patterns, you're going to be erasing a lot. So you need to get you a real good eraser and a good sturdy pencil when you're doing this. Now what I do is I measure the distance back from this upper mandible right here. I measure this distance back from the tip of the bill to the corner where that part of the face slides down into the upper mandible. So I measure that, the tip of the bill, just make a little mark, just roughly right there, and I go to the other side and I make another mark on the same line, and that's right there. So now I look down on top of the bird and make sure that I've got those two areas, and use your fingers, put them right there at those lines and see if your fingers line up. And if they do, you've pretty much got them like they're supposed to be, side by side. So those do. So now I know that that's where this comes out. You notice I just temporarily drew this circle in to show you where it was at coming off that head. But it's going to change because it has to come off this point right here. It has to come off this point. And and circle in. Into it like that. See, now we have to change the other side to do the same thing. So I'll waste that part off, and I will draw it around. Like so. Now I've got both of them in place. This looks a little bit different because there's a little bit of a saw mark right there, but that'll come out when we go to do clean all this up and everything, so we can get rid of that. But those two are drawn in. Now the next thing I have to do is I have to do what they call, it's like a little chin whisker. You can see where it comes down, comes off where this went into the mandible. It comes out of the mandible and goes up along the bottom part of the lower mandible, as you can see right there. So what I do with that is I just simply come down here and I just draw a little, well, let me trace that again. It's not pin slipped on me, but a pencil slipped on me. There we go. Now what I do is I just draw a little V out like that. I do it to the other side. I draw another V like so. Make sure that I've got them both lined up, and I do. And then that will come off of here like this, which defines the part of the lower coverts and everything. So where this V comes off, it has the lower coverts. It actually almost goes right down to the bottom of the actual part of the bill itself. And you'll notice that the bill on this is roughly right at 4.5 or 5 millimeters. And if you put it up here like this, you'll notice that my bill is still slightly large. Just where the bottom of it should be right there. And then, whoops. Do the same thing here. This one came out okay. This one has to be raised a little bit. I'll just hold it up to see if they match, and they do. Out just a little bit more. So as you can see, this one right here is okay, but this one has to come up this far. So what I'm going to do before I start cutting in the bill is I'm going to take this rounded diamond like this and pull this bottom part up. So we'll get that out of the way. Now let's see what we've got. Turn it over and look at it. You see that both sides are pretty much starting to shape up. Just pull that off a little bit. Now if you look at it head on, everything is pretty much like it's supposed to be. So now what we will do is we'll actually go in here and we will define this, cut this out down to the upper part of the upper mandible. This thickness in here, you look straight down on here, the thickness of this bill, you can see where it sticks out right here, is to be 4 millimeters. That's the thickness of the whole bill. So we'll set this at 4 millimeters. As you can see, if I'm able to slide this back into this notch back here when we cut it out, then I am where I'm supposed to be. But you see, I've got a lot of ways to take out, a lot of waste to take out of there. So what we do is we use another one of these diamonds here again, a little pointed diamond. And I start up here at the very top where this notch is. And I go right down into that notch, right down on top of it. Start it from the other corner. Be careful that you don't go up in there. You just want to follow right around the edge. Right where the top of the V is, the little notch, I'll go ahead and pull that out as well. Now I don't clean this out before I go to the other side, because I want to try to make sure both sides are matching. So don't try to smooth one side out, because then you can get one side off from the other. Simply repeat the process on the other side. Come right up in here. Start at that notch. Right up in here. And I'll pull it off to the V again. Get it on the other side. And then I take a look at them, and I look and see have I got them pretty much the same. If you look, I do. So now what I can do at this point is I can start cleaning this up. And so what I'll do is I just start smoothing this out. Being very careful I don't take off more wood than I should. I just smooth it out so it's get rid of that hard edge that I just put in. Now you can see I've got one side smooth right there. Now I'm going to do the other side.